Welcome to the management class. The official title is Business Organizations and Management, BUS200 at the Borough of Manhattan Community College, BMCC. And I am Dr. Adamou, teaching some of the sections in this class. My experience with management varies from being a CEO and general director of the regional healthcare system of Epirus in Greece. Actually, I was the first one who built up that organization, and before that, I was the advisor to the Minister of Health, who was before Minister of Administration and before Minister of Finance, and I followed him throughout his career. I'm also familiar with business because I learned it from my father. My father was someone who had a store selling shoes, and before he was selling shoes, he was making shoes on his own. The class is going to be very interesting, and the material that we are going to use are material that have their own specific history and trend. We are going to use a book that is not a textbook in a regular sense. It's a book that provides cases and ideas and discusses how organizations are framed. At the same time, as we are going to go on through reading and thinking and discussing that book, we are going to go back to look what other people did and other people said about this particular subject. The book we are going to use is Reframing Organizations by Bolman and Deal. We are going to use the current edition of the book, the 6th edition of the book. I'm following these two particular authors who are also consultants for a long time ago. The first time when I was finishing my graduate school or when I was teaching quantitative studies at the SAGE graduate school at their MBA program, I saw the first and the second edition. This is actually the second edition of the book, Reframing Organizations. What actually attracted my attention was the subtitle. And the subtitle is Artistry, Choice, and Leadership. Because business, after all, or before above everything else, it's nothing else than art. And in business, we have choices and we have decisions. And in business, we see two different actual ideas there, which can be seen from three different perspectives. One is leadership, the other is administration, and the third is management. The way that these two authors deal with the problem of organizations is very interesting. They look at it from four different frames. And as they look at from these four different frames, they try to see what is the interrelationship of these frames. Actually, a frame is something that you put your glasses and allows you to see things differently. Seeing things differently in reality means seeing things in a much more clear way, because otherwise you cannot be able to see what is happening there. The frames they use are four. One is the structural frame, and we will see how structures are made and involved. The other frame is the human resource frame, because the structures in business make only sense and exist because humans are there. And humans are not just another factor of production, but this particular factor is extremely important and makes the difference. The third frame is the political frame. And the political frame is the frame that deals with actually what kind of choices we have, and if we have different choices, how do we deal with the differences? Do we have a conflict or cooperation? How do we move about it? The next frame is the symbolic frame. And finally, after all these frames are presented, we can be able to make a synthesis, and at that point, we will bring the issue of leadership. This is the course. The authors, using that material, made quite well career in consulting, and they published many other books. For example, this one. We are going to cover some of that material. Moving from the old to the new editions. Several things are the same, which are the main principles. And many things change as we observe the particular cases in reality that we have. We are going to follow all that. And as we do that, we will see what we do there, and we'll see what is strategy and what is tactics. Where do we want to go and how we go there. As we do that, we are going to read also few other important material. One thing I'm going to ask you to read is Sanju, The Art of War, which is a very short and a very old text that is used not only in military school but in business schools. The other book that we are going to read is Machiavelli's The Prince, that focuses in leadership. Also, we are going to have some readings from the father of management, Peter Drucker, and some readings from a colleague that gives a lot of provocative and useful and very productive ideas about management, that is teaching right now up in Montreal, Canada, Henry Ginsberg. So the classes would be interesting and the material would be something that would provoke our thinking. I would like you to welcome you in this class and enjoy the term. Thank you so much.